Nobody does it, Bennett. Yes, I've gone and said it. Movies and games, some things that are lame. Nobody does it, Bennett. Video game, movie pitch. We'll make a film with a game and itch. Video game, movie pitch. Let's start a show. No, we're not on Twitch. A video game, movie pitch.
Hello, 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 and welcome to Nobody Does It Bennett, a video game movie pitch. I'm your host, The Greg Bennett Experience, and I'm joined tonight by Jemma.
Hey!
As we cast and pitch our ideas for a movie or TV show for Mario Kart. The first thing I get when people go, what should I do this week? I said Mario Kart. Like, how the heck do you make a TV show or a movie out of Mario Kart? And I was like, you don't want to know? Yeah, here's the secret. Come close, yeah? Listen to the podcast. That's how you're going to find out.
Exactly.
Because, yeah, it's a weird one. Like, most of the video game movie pitches we've done have been narrative or stories that are pretty much, you just follow along the story and make the movie from it, or TV show. This is really the first time where we've just got an idea. We've just kind of been let loose.
Yep. Full creativity.
I'm looking forward to it. Jemma, welcome along to the show this week. Are you looking forward to discussing Mario Kart?
Oh, very much so. I've been at work and harassing everyone with my ideas about it.
I like you use the word harassing people with ideas.
I mean, it is harassment. They're not terribly keen on listening, but I make them.
Tonight, we're going to cast our characters for a Mario Kart movie or TV show. Then we'll pitch our ideas. But first, let's grab a brief intro of our experiences and some history of Mario Kart itself. Jemma, what are your memories of Mario Kart?
So, I feel like I kind of came to Mario Kart a little bit late in the game. The first time I ever actually played it was on the 3DS.
Oh yeah, that's about 2010, 2011?
Yeah, it probably released about then, but I didn't, 3DS copy I got in 2013. So, and then very quickly after we ended up buying the Wii U, so I got it on Wii U, and then it's just been non-stop karting ever since. It's so much fun.
It is one of those games you can just kind of drop in and no matter your skill level, just have fun.
Yep, exactly. Even if you're my 6-year-old son who likes to try and drive backwards the whole way, you can still do it.
I actually do that when I'm starting to lose. I'm like, I'm going to go around the wrong way. And Grass like, you're such a sport when you do that. I was like, yeah, it's my way of saying, well, I'm not going to win. I'm going to go the wrong way.
May as well have fun.
Exactly. My first and most fond memories was playing Mario Kart 64 on the Nintendo 64. Funny enough, Mario Kart 64 was on the Nintendo 64.
Who'd have thunk?
I spent hours racing and even more hours playing the 4-player balloon fights with friends and family. I'm not sure if you played those balloon ones.
Absolutely.
But imagine doing that when it's like brand new 4-player, because until then, 2-player was the only thing you could ever do on like home consoles. So to have 4-player, that and GoldenEye were just like game changing. Having 4 people at once in the same game was amazing. I look back at that and have fond memories of Mario Kart, mainly for that one, but also for the racing as well.
Mainly the racing.
Mainly the racing. Mario Kart has had a few imitators over the years, but nothing has yet beaten this kart racing in the world of fun kart racing games. Like it had Diddy Kong Racing, had SpongeBob Nickelodeon Racing,
Which is fun.
Garfield Racing.
Garfield Racing. I need to look this up.
I think the closest thing would probably have to be Crash Team Racing.
Oh, yeah.
But it's not exactly like Mario Kart. It's a lot more difficult, I hear.
Much, much more difficult. I can't get around one of those courses without spinning out, whereas Mario Kart, not a problem.
As long as you got a tortoise shell loaded, ready to go.
Yeah.
Gonna hit you with some brief history of Mario Kart here. Mario Kart is a series of racing games developed and published by Nintendo. Players compete in go-kart races while using various power-up items. It features characters and courses from the Mario series as well as other gaming franchises such as The Legend of Zelda, Animal Crossing, one called F-Zero, and Splatoon.
Oh, yes.
I'm not sure if I played the Splatoon level, unless it's one of the better ones.
I haven't personally. Or Splatoon, the actual game.
It might be one of the newer ones, because Mario Kart over the last few months has started to release extra courses.
Yes.
Pretty much like double the amount of courses now on the Mario Kart 8.
It's an extra 48 courses, I think.
Damn.
It's a lot.
The series was launched in 1992 with Super Mario Kart on the Super Nintendo.
There's a lot of theming going on here.
But I should say its official name, the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. The Mario Kart series totals 14 games, with 6 on home consoles, 3 on handheld consoles, 4 arcade games, co-developed with Namco, and 1 for mobile phones. I never played the mobile game.
In my opinion, quite difficult compared to the console versions, but it is good fun.
So it's pretty much the same kind of racing.
More or less, it's just with the controls being so difficult.
Yeah, you have to pretty much do it on your phone, don't you? Yeah. Ugh, touchscreen. The latest game in the main series, Mario Kart Live Home Circuit, was released on the Nintendo Switch in October 2020 or 2020. Over 164.43 million copies in the series have been sold worldwide.
Wow.
I know Mario Kart 8, I do listen to some podcasts about game news. Mario Kart 8 never, ever gets out of the top 10 when it comes to sales. That and GTA 5 just keep going. And now they've got more courses, I can't see Mario Kart 8 ever going out of the top 10.
I think it's because it appeals to people of all ages. There's no one in my family who hasn't given it a go, from like my 4-year-old all the way up to my grandparents in their 70s and 80s. So I think it's just got such wide-reaching appeal for that reason. Like, everyone could just jump in, do a race and jump out.
And I think because it's also cool for all ages, it's like you never outgrow. Kind of like kids of, oh, not kids. It's like an old man, kids today and their Pokemon. But it's like Pokemon itself, it's come to a point now that it's cool at any age. And Mario Kart's cool at any age. You can be 45 and still playing it and having a ball, or you can be, like you say, 6 years old. And you could probably still beat the 45-year-old if you're 6 because, it's the way Mario Kart works.
The kids come out of the womb capable of these games.
Came out of the womb with like a Switch controller. The first game in the Mario Kart series is Super Mario Kart, like we said before, in 1992. Its development was overseen by Shigeru Miyamoto, the Japanese designer of many successful Nintendo games such as Super Mario Bros. In 1996, then was Mario Kart 64. 2001 was Mario Kart Super Circuit, which came out on the Game Boy Advance. Surprised they didn't call it Game Boy Mario Kart.
Yeah, missed opportunity.
2003, Mario Kart Double Dash, which came out on the GameCube. 2005, Mario Kart DS, which came out on Nintendo DS. So that's the DS, not the 3DS version, no. So was it in 3D when you played it?
Yeah, I did not like doing it in 3D. It made me feel travel sick.
Travel sick, funny enough.
Travel sick. I turned down the 3D setting to like halfway, and it still made me feel a bit ill, so I just played in 2D.
You hear that? Nintendo, your stuff is too good. All right? Too good.
Too good.
2008, Mario Kart Wii, which of course was on the Wii. Was on the Super Nintendo, of course. 2011 was Mario Kart 7, which came out on the 3DS, so it might be the one you played.
That's what I played, yeah.
2014, that's 8 years ago, is when Mario Kart 8 came out. It's still in the top 10 in game sales, and it came out in 2014. I think GTA was around about the same time as well. Wow. And do you know what console it first came out on?
The Wii U?
Yes.
Yes.
It was the Wii U.
I bought the Wii U just to play that.
I'm not surprised with that because it's the only way you could play it for so many years. And it wasn't until it came out. I think it was one of the launch titles for Switch.
Yes. Yeah, they came bundled together from memory.
Yeah, I knew a lot of people would buy that and buy it for Zelda as well.
Maybe not Breath of the Wild because that came out a wee bit later, but...
I think it came out on the Wii U.
Did it?
Breath of the Wild, I think it was originally Wii U. If you're unsure or want to let us know, just email us at nobodysitbennett@outlook.com.
Set us straight.
Tell us if we're wrong or right. If we're right, please tell us. If we're wrong...
Maybe keep it to yourself.
Yeah, still tell us. We probably should know.
Don't tell me, I'll cry.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe came out in 2017, so that's when it came out on Switch. And Mario Kart Live Home Circuit 2020, which is the little one where you could drive the remote control around and have a camera and make a circuit out of your own home. Felt very Toy Story.
It did, except you're watching them do it instead of going to sleep and them doing it behind your back.
They're more trusting. If you like what you hear or have any suggestions for us or thoughts, who knows, it might be about Mario Kart. Well, you can contact us by going to the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com or by going to our website nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio and other podcast outlets. Nobody Does It Bennett is also available now on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Right, Jemma? Let's start casting our Mario Kart movie or TV show.
Nobody does it, Bennett.
I'll let you go first. So the first character we're going to cast is Mario/Luigi. So we're actually going to have two characters in this. When I was coming up with the ideas for who we're going to cast, I was like, if we have Mario Luigi and Wario Waluigi, that's 4 characters already, and I only wanted to cast about 6 at most. I don't want to go on too long. So I thought, what we could do, because Luigi and Mario are quite similar, we could actually take 2 names from the list we got and actually cast 2 people. We got a Mario and a Luigi from the 3 options from each of us, or at least at the most 3 options. It might not be 3 options, but from the cast choices we have.
Okay.
Who is your first option?
So, my first option today is Milo Ventimiglia. And I don't know if I'm saying that correctly, but the guy who played Jess in Gilmore Girls.
Ah, yes, he was also the guy, I believe, in Heroes?
Possibly.
Yeah.
I haven't seen Heroes.
I'm pretty sure he also played Rocky Balboa's son in Rocky Balboa.
That would fit.
Let's have a look and see if I'm right. Heroes cast. Yep, it is the same guy. That guy right there.
That is he.
Yeah, so I've seen him in Heroes, obviously. I knew he was in Gilmore Girls because my sister used to watch Gilmore Girls back in the day.
Good taste.
And I also know him, of course, from Rocky Balboa. So yeah, that's an interesting choice for Mario, is it, as well, I guess?
For Mario, I had particularly in mind, I was sort of going for the Italian-American sort of vibe. And I think especially after seeing him in This Is Us as a more sort of mature actor, I feel like he'd be able to pull off Mario at a couple different ages. You wouldn't have to box him into only the middle age or a younger Mario.
I could also see him being a good Luigi as well. He could play a good side character as well as the main character. So no, that's an interesting choice, yeah. Now you mention that, I kind of go, hey, I can see it.
Yeah, slap a moustache on him.
Just whack a moustache on that man. Right, so my first option for a Mario/Luigi is someone who has been a classic actor for years. He's a bit older, obviously, because he's been around for years. But I think his voice is so iconic, he could play a really good Mario. Maybe Luigi as well, but more mainly as a Mario. My first option for Mario/Luigi is Tony Danza.
Tony Danza!
From Taxi, from Who's the Boss.
Wow.
He's got that real kind of accent. I love his voice. No one sounds like him.
Yeah.
And I think he'd be a good character trait for Mario.
Yeah, it'd be great for the characterization, like really establishing him as like the lead.
Yeah, so he's my first option. Tony Danza. Who's the boss?
Mario's the boss, obvi.
So have you got a second option for Mario/Luigi?
I do, and it's a little bit different to my original one because I pitched someone for each of my 2 pitches I have in mind. My other option is Jonathan Bailey.
Jonathan Bailey.
So, Bridgerton Season 2.
Okay.
Mostly inspired by his recent growing of a moustache. I feel like if we were going to cast a British Mario, he would be great for it.
Well, a lot of American icons, well, I guess this would be Italian icon, are British. Superman, Christian Bale is Welsh, he's Batman.
Oh, I didn't know he was Welsh.
Obviously the Spider-Man's Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield. So even though Mario is not an American icon, he's very known in America and almost fits that same category. Yes. So that's an interesting option. John Stewart Bailey is his name.
That's him.
I'm trying to see if I know him from anything other than Bridgerton. Because I don't watch Bridgerton, sorry.
He was in that, what was it, the British sitcom, and they were all living in the old hospital.
Hooten and the Lady. He played Edward in Hooten and the Lady.
Oh my god, he was in St. Trinians. Although I have to rewatch St. Trinians. I love that film. I did not know he was in it. Crashing.
Okay.
So he was in Crashing, and in it he had this platinum blonde hair and played a very different character to what you see in Bridgerton. But because he's theatre trained, he's got a lot of like theatricality, and he's, can do that sort of over the top plumber act.
Okay.
If need be, Like I feel like it would work pretty well, especially if you've got like a big British cast.
Would you get him to have an Italian accent? Or more an American Brooklyn one?
No, I would let him keep the British accent because I feel like...
It's a me, Mario!
Give him like a real Cockney Mario accent. G'day, governor.
I haven't obviously seen him much, so I can't go, yeah, it's a really great choice. I'll say, yeah, interesting to kind of see how it would go. A lot of listeners out there that might go, oh, he'd be pretty good. So if you like it, let us know.
Validate me.
Validate her. My second option for a Mario/Luigi, he's an American. I think he could pull off an interesting voice if he had to go for it. Or he could just be himself and people would love him anyway because he's a very lovable kind of person. My second option for Mario/Luigi is Mark Ruffalo.
Oh my gosh, yeah. That would be so fun.
And his hair, I don't know, his hair reminds me of Mario already. He can grow a moustache.
Yeah, he could totally pull off the moustache. The moustache is the most important part of Mario.
That's his identity.
100%. That and the red hat.
Yeah, so obviously Mark Ruffalo has been in Avengers as the Incredible Hulk. He was in Spotlight, I think, as well, with Michael Keaton, and about the first reporters to report that the church had covered up a lot of scandals.
13 going on 30 with Jennifer Garner.
I've never seen that. I heard he's in it. He was in a recent one with Ryan Reynolds on Netflix as well. The Adam Project or something?
Yes, very good film.
Yeah, that was interesting. I liked that.
Loved it.
So yeah, Mark Ruffalo. I once actually asked when my sister got married, I went to the hairstylist and said, "What do you want?" I said, "Give me the Mark Ruffalo." That's what I said. I had a picture of Mark Ruffalo. It's like, that's the look I want, please.
So you could play Mario.
I could.
You could.
It's a me, Mario.
I'd like to cast Greg Bennett as Mario.
Antonio Banderas. Puss in Boots as Mario. It's a me, Mario. Anyway, so yeah, Mark Ruffalo. Have you got a third choice?
I do. So my third choice, and I've never actually seen any of the movies or TV shows that this person is in, but I took one look at them and I thought, I have to cast you in something because you are so beautiful. And that is Matt Bomer.
Matt Bomer?
From Magic Mike fame and White Collar.
I think he was also in True Calling. I believe he was in True Calling as well.
Very possibly.
As a boyfriend / serial killer.
Oh.
Yeah, but I know who you're talking of. Yep, that's the guy I thought it was.
The guy who looks like the American Henry Cavill.
I think he's also in Chuck. I think he's the guy that gives Chuck his the chip.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I've seen him. He's got the very classic kind of looks as well.
He does, and I feel like it would, again, pull off a moustache. I'm very focused on the moustache, I do apologise. But it would pull off the moustache very well, and I don't know, just to see him in the wee overalls, I think that would be quite cool.
Yeah, it's all about, doesn't matter about the voice, who can pull off the moustache.
It's
That's
the
what we're looking
vibe.
for. Good television actor. Hasn't made the jump to a feature film yet, so it'd be quite interesting if he did this.
It'd be his chance.
Could be the big chance he
For
needs.
his break.
Could be. The big break, Mario. My third option is someone that's actually come back quite well over the last 4 or 5 years. He was in hiding for probably about 30 years and has come back out. Yeah, what he's been doing is really, really good. And so my option for Luigi or mainly a Mario, but I don't think he could play good Luigi as well, is Ralph Macchio from The Karate Kid.
Yes.
The Karate Kid himself, also, and obviously Cobra Kai.
Yes.
I was like, yeah, I could actually see him playing a Luigi or a Mario. And he hasn't done anything much outside of Karate Kid, so this would be like
his big break.
could be his big break again.
The second coming.
Him and Matt Bomer could have massive breaks there.
They would be a very interesting combo, actually, the two of them together.
But yeah, so Ralph Macchio, obviously, he has the likability factor to him straight away. His accent is kind of Brooklyn and he's Italian as well, so you wouldn't have to change much about his voice.
No, it's true.
Yeah, I think it'd be really fun.
Excellent choice.
Oh, thank you. Now that we've gone through our 3 options for each of them, we have to decide who we want as Mario and who we want as Luigi.
Oh.
I'm going to say for Luigi, I would actually pick Ralph Macchio.
I could see him as Luigi. I feel like, though, just something about his stature feels Mario. You know? Like, I feel like the Mario needs to have a very tall Luigi, just because the characters are so disparate in height.
He's plump. Mario's plump, but Luigi's skinny and tall. Because I'm thinking of Ralph Macchio. I think it'd be interesting to him to be like the second person for a change, not the main character. His voice isn't, I don't think, deep enough to play the Mario. That's why I think Luigi would be more high, because Luigi's higher pitched. He's going, hey,
It's true, very true.
Mario.
I feel like I could agree with him as Luigi.
But you got no options you thought of for Luigi?
Well, because when I was thinking through my pitches, I picked people to very specifically fit in the film I had in mind, so it's a little bit harder to pick someone just on the essence de Luigi, you know? My other pick that I had for Luigi was actually Regé-Jean Page, who again is from Bridgerton. But he has the height and he has the, I don't know, you could just sort of see him in the background doing his thing. I don't know.
Don't think I've actually seen him, Regé-Jean Page.
Oh, he's a beautiful man.
He's French, I'm guessing?
No, he's English.
Is he? Oh.
Yeah, no, he's English. I hope he's up for Bond. I think he would make a great Bond, to be quite honest. I will agree with you for Ralph Macchio for Luigi, even though it's going to put a little spanner in the works of one of the other people I've cast. Let's just put it that way, Greg.
All right, I'll mark down Luigi as Ralph Macchio then. For Mario, do you have anyone you want to put forward?
I am quite set in my mind on Milo Ventimiglia as Mario, but open to discussion.
Would he have a strong enough presence? Like, would his voice automatically go, "Oh, that's Mario, and it's really, really good"? Could he? Do you think he could pull off the?
Personally, yes. I think that he's really shown his acting chops in recent times, but I don't feel like I've seen him in enough to really 100% say.
The person I was going to probably go for was Tony Danza, but I think Tony Danza's a little bit older,
Yeah.
so he might not want to do a whole franchise. He hasn't really done a lot in a long time. I think he's done some TV shows, but not a lot. Mark Ruffalo, I'm looking at going, he could do it as well, but no, I actually think your one's more interesting and more worth the gamble.
Yeah.
I think everything else is more a safer bet.
Yeah.
So I would actually cast Milo from Milo and Otis.
Yeah. Side note, Campbell, if you're listening to this, I still have your copy of that film. Please contact me.
All right, so Mario is going to play by Marlo. Ventimiglia.
Ventimiglia, I think.
Ventimiglia. It's a hard one to say.
It is.
Very Italian.
Very Italian.
I'll just put Milo. Mario is Milo. Right, so we've cast our Mario as Milo and Luigi as Ralph Macchio. I reckon it's a good combo.
I think they'd look real cool together.
We now move on to our second character we're going to cast, Princess Peach.
Ba-ba-ba.
Since you went first time, I'll go first this time. Let's change things up. So my first option for a Princess Peach is someone that's kind of become almost royalty in Hollywood at the moment itself. She bring a bit of attitude, a bit of spunk. My version of Princess Peach is probably not traditional. She's kind of have more attitude.
Nice.
And be more her own character, not just for Mario to save.
Greg is a feminist.
So my first option for Princess Peach is Zendaya.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely.
I know she was in something recently. She voiced something recently. But Zendaya as Princess Peach is my first option.
I definitely love that option. I don't even know if we need to discuss it, to be honest.
Well, she's been in Spider-Man, obviously. She's Tom Holland's Spider-Man girlfriend. It's MJ. Yep. She's also in Euphoria, which I've seen the first season of. Very, very good show, but very, very hard watch. Yeah. Because it's a lot of drugs, a lot of darkness, a lot of depression, but she's very good in it.
Mm-hmm. And of course, The Greatest Showman. She was amazing in that.
I've never seen The Greatest Showman.
We've seen very different films, Greg.
I've watched a documentary about The Greatest Showman before I watched them, like obviously before I've seen the movie because I haven't seen it yet. And it kind of seemed like, I guess I'm just being a bit biased because a lot of people are horrible watch the movie. Like I watched the Chris Columbus movie and realized he's horrible. But yeah, I watched the documentary about how bad Barnum was.
Oh, the actual P.T. Barnum. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like the whole fetishization of people with disabilities and creating a spectacle. But there's a lot of people that make the argument that he gave them a home and somewhere to go where otherwise they would have been ostracized. It's like they were still being ostracized. It was just through a glass wall. Everyone
he
was
just
watching.
Controlled that, yeah.
Yeah. Profited off it. Absolutely profited.
So Zendaya is my option.
Zendaya is a brilliant option.
Do you have a first option for Princess Peach?
I do. Now, the person that I thought about for Princess Peach is someone who I've seen in a couple sort of more serious, maybe like thriller type TV series. I personally think is an incredible actress, and I could just see her seeming like the sweet and put together Peach, but again, also having that punch and that sass like you're talking about. Peach needs to be brought into the 21st century. She should be saving herself, and I feel like this actress could do it. And that is Victoria Pedretti.
Victoria Pedretti.
From The Haunting of Hill House fame.
Oh, was that Netflix show?
Yes, and then she was in The Haunting of Bly Manor, or whatever it was actually called, the sequel. So she was the main character in the second one, and she played the lady with the bent neck in the first season.
Oh, there was like some animal deaths in the first season, and I was like, I can't watch anymore.
Yeah, no, fair enough. She was also in You, season 3. Or season 2 and 3, she played Love. I just think like she has the acting chops for it. She could play a Peach that seems really sweet and innocent and then flip on a dime. Like she's got the ability to really convey that.
I've seen it before, but I didn't realize that it was her. And Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Oh yeah.
Old Quentin Tarantino movie. She's in that as well, apparently. So Victoria...
Pedretti,
sorry. I'll check all names today. Victoria Pedretti. Okay. My second option for a Princess Peach is someone that she has an association with Chris Pratt, who plays Mario in the Mario movie. Not so much anymore, but she used to. My second option for a Princess Peach is Anna Faris.
Nice. For like a real like comedic Peach, especially. Yeah.
She is someone that you love straight away. Anna Faris. She always plays likable characters.
Yeah, definitely.
She was in the obviously the scary movies in Mom.
Yes, very good show.
And was the ex-wife now of Chris Pratt. But yes, Anna Faris is my second option.
Quite like that as an option. My second option, which wasn't someone that I cast for one of my particular pitches, but someone a little bit older, which I think with the Mario and Luigi that we're heading towards might be a good fit perhaps, and someone who's again proven her acting chops over and over again, is Charlize Theron.
Ooh, that's interesting. An older character, more mature Peach.
More mature, but like...
A ripe Peach. No, sorry.
Oh, Oh, gosh.
Sorry.
Delicious.
Oh,
No, I feel like she could be a really ethereal and graceful kind of peach.
she would ooze the royalty.
Yes.
Because she's someone that's distinguished and also just respected so much that you hear her voice go, oh, I can see that. No, it's a really good choice. Obviously, Charlize Theron, she's been in lots of things over the years. Italian Job. She was in Atomic Blonde and also in the Fast and Furious series recently.
Was she?
She was one of the bad people in it.
Oh, I can see that.
Yeah, one of the baddies. She was also in one called Sweet November with Keanu Reeves back in the day, which was a very sad movie, but it didn't do very well at the box office, but I've always liked. So Charlize Theron, no, very good choice. My third option for a Princess Peach, got the same name as the last one, but a different person. She's always, again, lovable. As soon as you hear her, you're like, she's great. And I think she'd play a very, 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 very likable Peach that everyone would just love. My third option is Anna Kendrick.
Oh, and again, you could have the serious, you could have the comedic.
Like drop it on the dime and play lovable, then go full on mean.
Or she could sing, if need be.
If you need to sing, she's got that option as well.
Yeah.
So obviously, yeah, she's been in a few things over the years. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, I remember her for.
Of course.
Also in, of course, those musical
Pitch Perfect.
Pitch Perfect movies.
Twilight.
Every time you see her, she's just adorable.
Yes, 100% agree. Very good pick.
So have you got a third pick?
I do, and this is someone that, again, I've cast for a very specific movie in mind. All shall be revealed. My pick for Peach was actually Roisin Conaty, who is a British comedian. She was in Afterlife, the Ricky Gervais Netflix show. So she's done a wee bit of acting. It was a little bit serious, but also she was the comedic relief. And I just think she would be the most hilarious Peach in terms of being caught and put in a tower and just cracking jokes about it and trying to get out and just sort of, I feel like it would make a great, if you've got a serious movie anyway, a great break from the tension to have a real comedian in there. Kind of like Anna Faris, just break it up a little bit.
What's her name again, sir?
Roisin Conaty. She's got like the blonde thing going on, but I also just think it would add a different dimension or another like flavor. Like she would really characterize Peach and make it like different character to what we're used to from the video games. Peach is just sort of around and going hee hee hee.
Be sassy.
Yeah,
Be a very
much.
sassy Peach.
Yes.
Obviously, again, it's one I haven't seen her in. So you're picking a lot of people I've never heard before or know of, so it's interesting. A lot of people to kind of research and look at and go, this would be interesting.
Who are you? What are you doing here?
Are you going to be in Mario Kart? We'll find out. So do you have anyone you want to push forward for Peach?
Oh, I think out of my choices, and given our current casting, I really want to push for Charlize. Yeah. I think she would be a great fit.
I actually think Charlize Theron is the one I'd go off too. Zendaya I quite like, but been a lot of things recently.
Yeah, and very young things.
Yeah, Anna Faris and Kendrick are good, but I think Theron is better.
Yeah.
She's the only one that kind of brings the royalty with her.
Yes, the gravitas.
I'm going to write down Charlize Theron and probably butcher her name. So we move now on to character 3, which is again another double character. We've got Wario and Waluigi. Mm-hmm. You went first the first time, I went first the second time, so it's back to you for the first character option or first option for casting a Wario or Waluigi.
All right, so my first option, and I thought about this one long and hard and I feel quite set on it actually, specifically as Wario, could be Waluigi, Frankie Muniz. Again, Italian-American. I feel like he could seem fun and chummy and then be really evil if you needed him to be as well. Like he just looks like he could be crazy evil if need be. And I feel like there's got to be some kind of, Bowser's your big megalomaniac kind of evil, but you need someone sneaky.
Do you think he could be like the top billing kind of character like Wario, or would he be more stuck in the middle? Sorry, Malcolm in the Middle joke there. For anyone, Frankie Muniz, it was Malcolm in the Middle. It's really interesting because he's acted a lot lately. I watched him on Steve-O from Jackass. He has a podcast and he actually talked to Frankie Muniz because everyone thought he had strokes and stuff. And that's why he pulled out. He's a part-time racing car driver.
Oh, really?
And he thought he was having strokes, but it turned out he wasn't having strokes. And people thought he'd forgotten a lot of his previous acting roles because of it. But he goes, no, it's because I was 10 when I started Malcolm in the Middle and I just can't remember everything because I'm now 35.
Yeah.
He was always great in Malcolm in the Middle. Agent Cody Banks, I remember him then as well.
Yes, I love that film.
I think Big Fat Liar, another one he was in. He was huge in the early 2000s. I really like him as more the Waluigi than the Wario because I think he would... I'm not sure if he's the Wario voice I would like, but I think he'd be great as a Waluigi.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like Frankie Muniz, so
yeah,
it would be a good welcome back.
I think so.
My first option is an option that you know, when it comes to these sort of characters, it's pretty much a given that I'm going to pick him. He might not be available anymore, but he might come back for it. He's obviously been in something very similar very recently. He's just a master of voices that you wouldn't really think of him as the other character. My first option for Wario especially is Jim Carrey.
Yep. So Jim Carrey to me is Waluigi.
Is he? Okay.
He is Waluigi.
He looks
it's
like
the
him.
face. It's the expressions. Look at him in Sonic, right? That is Waluigi.
He kind of actually does, don't you think about it? Yeah.
Yeah. But yes, 100% on board. Like, perfect. Yeah.
He's just a master of voices.
He is.
Obviously, we've covered The Mask in this podcast, and it's actually one of my highest viewed YouTube videos. He's amazing in that. Dumb and Dumber. Is it Liar Liar? But I thought he was very, very good in Sonic. And Sonic 2 is a lot of fun too. Like, those movies should just be kind of stupid nonsense, but they're not. They're actually a lot of fun, and I really enjoy Jim Carrey in them. Not sure if he'd come back for it because he's kind of retired. Said he's retired after the Sonics. I picked him more as a Wario, but as a Waluigi, he could pull it off as well.
I think the reason I feel like he's Waluigi is in the games, Waluigi is very tall and he kind of stoops over and has these long limbs. And so that's why I feel like Waluigi needs to have that profile of being kind of reedy.
He's the physical presence of Waluigi.
Yes, yes, yep.
So Jim Carrey is my first option.
Amazing. We could possibly stop here. But I do have a good second option.
Who is your second option there, Jemma?
My second option is someone who's also a wee bit of a character actor. Just a wee bit. I'm just going to get straight into it. That actor is Sacha Baron Cohen.
Oh, Mr. Ali G himself.
Yes, Borat.
Borat, Ali G. He's in a few other ones too. Bruno. My favourite performance of his is actually in Talladega Nights, where he plays the Frenchman. He plays the French driver, and he's just so obnoxious. It's great.
Perfect.
Yeah, again, he can play a lot of roles.
Yeah.
And he can either play Waluigi or Wario.
Exactly.
And he's been in racing movies before, Talladega Nights.
Oh, there we go.
There's the connection.
He's got experience.
No, he's always a good actor. Always fun. And he can play multiple roles, so I can see why you picked him. My next option for a Wario Waluigi is someone who's actually already in the Mario movie. I didn't realize he was, and when you hear his voice actually in the trailer, I sort of believe it's him. He's another one who can play, obviously, different roles because he's a character actor. He's been on Mad TV. He's also been in his own TV show with a famous now director, Jordan Peele, Keegan-Michael Key. He's been in Toy Story 4. He played one of the soft toys that was at the carnival that they go and see. Played a lot of roles, obviously, in Mad TV, and he's always just someone that can play anything you need him to play. Like, Key and Peele is one of the best shows I've seen for comedy ever. If you haven't seen Key and Peele, I recommend it. It's just a lot of fun. It's a skit show, kind of like Mad TV or Saturday Night Live, but with just them. Because of that, he can play anything.
Oh, yes, him.
Yeah.
Yes.
He plays a lot of characters. He's actually Toad.
That I can see it.
But I did not recognize his voice on the trailer. I was like, that's Keegan-Michael Key? Damn. But he's playing Toad in the new Mario Illumination movie. Yeah, so that is my second option for a Wario Waluigi.
The race is heating up, Greg.
It is. Have you got another option?
My other option, we're going to go back to the Italian-American sort of thing, but someone who perhaps might be able to play Waluigi or Wario a little bit gormless, but actually not be underneath the surface. Jason Biggs.
Oh, from American Pie fame?
From American Pie fame.
I haven't seen him since Orange is the New Black. He actually played one of the Ninja Turtles in one of the series as well. I think played Leonardo.
Oh, nice.
Obviously been other things too. Evil Woman or something like that, or something in the early 2000s. Where like he had a girlfriend that was like evil. Loser, a movie called Loser, I think he was in as well. He was like the king of kind of the high school comedy of the early 2000s. Yeah. So he's also done voice work as well. So if you had him for animated or live action, you got him both ways. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can see him being a real obnoxious prick too.
Yes,
so
very much so.
He would fit Wario or Waluigi.
Yes, I think he'd be Biggs enough for either role.
I had to say it.
Had to.
Interesting choice. Again, at least I knew him this time.
Yeah.
My third option, we spoke of royalty of Charlize Theron. This person is a royalty when it comes to live action and comes to voice acting. He's someone that can play any pretty much role you put him in there, and as soon as someone hears he's in something, especially if it's animated, they go, I need to see this. My third option for a Wario or Waluigi, he can play both, is none other than Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill!
Yep.
Yes.
He is the king when it comes to animated. He is obviously Luke Skywalker as well, so he's been good in live action and animated, but I could see him as a Wario or a Waluigi.
Yes, so can I. Absolutely.
For me, it'd be more of an animated rather than live action, but you could play both if you
I feel
want
like
to.
even for live action, if you like dressed him up, especially as Wario, I feel like you put him in the Wario colours, give him the wee hat and stuff. I reckon that would fit quite well, actually. Yeah.
Mark Hamill is my third option. Have you got another option? Do you have any that you want to push forward for Waluigi?
For Waluigi specifically, I would like to push for maybe Sacha Baron Cohen. Specifically, I'd like a Sacha Baron Cohen alongside Jim Carrey as Wario.
Yeah.
The two together would be, incredible. Because they'd actually look like brothers too, I think. You'd be able to get the vibe from them.
I would also pick Jim Carrey as Wario. So I'll agree to those terms.
Spectacular. We'll shake on it.
Keegan-Michael Key, he's already now cast. So for me, Mark Hamill is great, but Jim Carrey is the top when it comes to physical comedy, or just even with his voice. So him and Sacha Baron Cohen together, both of them the kings of transforming themselves.
Absolutely.
I can see them working very well together.
Oh gosh, what I would pay to actually see this now.
Go to Nintendo, if you ask them nicely enough and say, hey, I'm part of a podcast. We're a pretty big deal now. Would you possibly like to do a Mario Kart movie? Only costs about $300 million.
That's like basically nothing. Yeah.
We're up to character 4 now.
Ooh.
Since we've cast Jim Carrey and Sacha Baron Cohen as Wario and Waluigi, we're on to Bowser.
Bowser.
I've got 3 options here for Bowser. Since you went first last time, I will go first this time. My first option for Bowser is someone that once I saw Bowser's physique and his like big nature, I was like, there's one name that came across. I was like, he could play this comically or he could play this seriously if he wanted to. My first option for Bowser is Terry Crews.
Oh my gosh.
From Brooklyn Nine-Nine fame.
Oh my gosh, yes. Absolutely. He's built for it.
Yeah.
Like literally built.
He is.
Yeah.
And he could play him comically and also serious.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Love that. Totally on board.
Yep. So Terry Crews, yeah, always fun. Have you got a first option for Bowser?
I do. My first option for Bowser is none other than Robert De Niro.
Whoa, that's interesting.
Is it interesting?
I like that because I actually thought about Robert De Niro.
He didn't feel evil enough at first, but for me, I feel like the movie doesn't need to necessarily be a direct, you need to look and act like the character for each of the characters. I feel like Robert De Niro could be very head of the family, bad guy in a more sophisticated sense.
Yes, he would be more serious and you wouldn't want to mess with him. You wouldn't want to cross him. There's people that are close or very much maybe on the same level, but no one beats him. He's done animated work before. He's Shark's Tale. Or Shark Tale with Will Smith. He was also in a classic cartoon live-action adaptation of Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Oh.
He played the bad guy in that.
Oh, really?
De Niro, he's a presence.
He is.
For my second option, it's not De Niro. My second option for Bowser is Al Pacino.
Oh, yes. Yeah, similar kind of.
Mario, you're walking here. You're walking to my place.
I can see it.
So Al Pacino, obviously Godfather fame. Any Given Sunday, I love him in that as well. Football movie. He was in The Irishman recently as well with Robert De Niro. So it was the first time since Heat that they worked together. Heat was a 90s movie that was just a phenomenon when it came out. And it was the first time they acted together in a movie because they were in Godfather Part 2 together, but they never acted together.
Oh.
Because De Niro played a younger version of his father back in the day. So yeah, no, 2 juggernauts, especially the crime movie. Pacino or De Niro as a head of a crime thing.
Perfect. Especially if you could somehow work it that there's 2 opposing crime families and another head of each.
Yeah, so he's my second option. Have you got a second option for Bowser?
My second option for Bowser, I feel silly saying it now after these 2 big sort of juggernauts, is more of like an ironic Bowser character. So he doesn't fit the stature perhaps, but I feel like he could really create a character out of it. And again, I was thinking in terms of head of a mafia family sort of thing, and that's actually Danny DeVito.
Yes.
Like a mini Bowser, but like he'd have the presence of Bowser without the size of Bowser, you know?
It's like Penguin in Batman Returns. Mm-hmm. Short in stature, but geez, he's got a presence.
Yes.
And DeVito's never someone you look down on. Mm-hmm. And I say that in all the right ways. Obviously, he's again another juggernaut of classic Hollywood actors. The fact that he's done It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and done it for so many years, he's up for anything. Yeah. So I think he'd be a good addition to the cast for this as well. So it's someone I could see actually being cast for it. My next option, we're just getting crazy. We've got crazy old people in this. Because the next person I've got is someone that I would just want to hear Bowser with his voice. My next option for Bowser is Christopher Walken. Just imagine Bowser as Christopher Walken.
To be honest, I think it would be great.
He's so good.
A real dry Bowser.
Again, the Vito connection. Him and DeVito were in Batman Returns together. Yeah, all I'll say is Christopher Walken.
Yeah, just Christopher Walken. So my last option is Mr. Sean Bean. Mr. Sean Bean.
He would actually be really good as Bowser because he's got that gravelly voice.
Yeah, and I think just a little bit more sort of slightly younger vibe, a little bit more perhaps.
Keep his British accent too would be
That would be very cool.
really good for Bowser. Actually could be very menacing.
Yes.
No, it's a very good choice. Actually,
This is going to be hard.
I'm very tempted to go Sean Bean.
You reckon?
Because Al Pacino and Christopher Walken and De Niro, they would take over the movie or TV show. You would like hear him and go, oh, that's Christopher Walken, or that's Al Pacino, or that's Rob De Niro. You wouldn't see it as Bowser. Terry Crews is great, but I think Sean Bean would be better.
I feel like Sean Bean could be more evil than Terry Crews.
Yeah, he can.
Yeah.
Unless you got someone else you want to vote in for Sean, I'd vote for Sean Bean as Bowser.
I agree. I think Sean Bean would be great.
All right, I'm going to put down Sean Bean.
Marvellous.
Or Scene Bean.
Scene Bean.
I call him Scene Bean as
Or
well.
Sean Bourne.
Because it's the way it's spelled.
Yeah.
Our next character we're going to cast is Yoshi. Mm-hmm. I don't think he says much in Mario, but...
No.
And now one he's going to, or maybe the character will just make sounds. So I went first last time. You can go first this time.
Okay, so my first option for Yoshi, and he will admittedly be quite a large Yoshi if it's a live action, but first option, Vince Vaughn.
Just that, I'm just thinking of that straight man kind of argumentative Vince Vaughn from like movies with Owen Wilson.
Yeah, or like all of those rom-coms that he was in for a while there, and I was like, what?
It'd be a very serious and stern Yoshi, which I think would be quite hilarious.
Mm-hmm. And just all of a sudden go, blam, blam, tongue.
You know, are we going the right way? I'm not sure we're going the right way here. I'm confused, guys.
An interesting choice.
My first option is someone who could play the voice role if need be, or can play the sounds and just be a completely animalistic kind of a character if you want to go that with Yoshi. This person has done many of voices over the years. He's not a live action guy, so this one kind of gives away that I'm doing animated. He's done voices from Fred and Scooby-Doo, but he also voiced Abu in Aladdin. He was the guy and goes, Abo, Abo.
Perfect, yeah.
Frank Welker. He also voiced Megatron in Transformers in the 80s. He's got such a range that he would give you the option of anywhere you want to go with Yoshi.
Yeah.
You can even have Yoshi speaking and making sound.
Perfect. That would be so good. You know, I never thought to think voice actors, but I'm now regretting that because that is a really good choice.
Frank Welker is my first option. Have you got a second option for Yoshi?
I do. And my second option for Yoshi was we're going back British. We're going back comedian. Richard Iwadi. IT crowd fame.
Oh, the afro.
The afro. Richard Iwadi.
Guys, please don't disturb
I said,
me.
don't.
Yeah, IT Crowd. I'm not a big fan of British comedy, as you know, but IT Crowd's one of the few that I actually really like. Yeah. I found out later on why I did, because it's from the same writers as Father Ted.
Oh, and you love Father
I
Ted.
love Father Ted. It's Irish comedy, that's why I class it as. It's not British. No. It's Irish.
A bit more meat and potatoes.
Yeah, he's always great. Very robotic too. Imagine Yoshi's a robot. That's how you pretty much say it.
You cast Tenson.
Greg, I don't like when you call me a robot.
Oh no, we've already established that he's Johnny Five.
My second option is someone, again, who's done live action, but also has done a lot of animated voices, especially for his own show that he co-produces. That's very, very good and it's been on for years now. I think it's still going. He's been in things since the late 90s, onwards pretty much, and he's always great. My second option is Seth Green.
Oh, yes. Okay.
He's done Robot Chicken,
Yeah.
so he's done a lot of voices in that.
Yeah.
He was Scott Evil in Austin Powers. He was in Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Oh, really?
As well for the second and third season. Seth Green, always great.
Do like that idea. I do.
And his name's Green and Yoshi's Green.
Well, it's kismet, meant to be.
It's meant to be. Here we go.
My third option that I've come up with just now, because I only had two ideas and now they feel lame.
Oh.
Well, they're great, but in comparison, I think, to the way that you've gone. Anyway, my third option is Mr. Nick Kroll, who's done the voice actor thing, Big Mouth. He was in Sing. He's done a little bit of live acting as well, but I don't know. I feel like it could kind of work for Yoshi, especially if Yoshi's going to be a little bit of a comedic relief character or a supporting character as opposed to having to carry the show.
I've seen. He's been in Brooklyn Nine-Nine before.
Yes. Yeah. So, like, he's a comedian and he's done a lot of like really funny voice acting roles and stuff like that, but I don't know. I feel like he could pull off the kind of, what would you call Yoshi? Dinosaur, almost like reptilian kind of feel.
I'd say cartoon dinosaur.
Cartoon dinosaur, yeah.
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 Oh, it's also in Don't Worry Darling, which just came out recently. It's directed by Olivia Wilde. And of course, Sausage Party. And I was like, that wasn't as gross as I thought it was going to be. And then the final scene happens.
Oh my gosh, that was horrific.
I've only seen him pretty much in like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, and he just pop up in the odd thing here and there. He's on talk shows. He's always quite entertaining. I know he can play a dick really well. He's very good at playing dick. You want to make Yoshi a little bit of a dick.
I mean, he's got the tongue that could shoot out and like. Think about Sausage Party now. He's got the tongue that could shoot out and like trip up the other carts and stuff like that. You know, it could be a bit of a dick.
My third option is just because he's been in other things recently, and he's always got such a voice that I just want to hear Yoshi with his voice. Would be incredible. Third option is Idris Elba.
Oh, that would be really cool.
As Yoshi, you'd think, oh, it's Yoshi, he's adorable, and he'd be like, British, get out of my way. As you're driving.
It'd be even better if Yoshi like chooses not to say stuff a lot of the time, and then in the few moments where he does, it's just this very British, very gruff kind of.
Yeah, and he played Knuckles recently in Sonic 2. It's just more, I wanted to have Yoshi with Idris Elba's voice. But those are my three options. Do you have anyone that you would push forward?
I don't know. Are we going to go for a live action or an animated?
If you're going to go animated or live action, it's pretty much going to be given away if you don't want to go Welker.
I don't know. I think I actually really like your idea of Idris Elba. To be honest, as Yoshi, I think that would be so fun.
Yeah, and just with a British accent would be hilarious. All right, I'll agree with you. We'll cast Idris Elba. And now we've come to our final character on the casting. Character 6, Toad. So Toad was, obviously we talked about Keegan-Michael Key. He's been cast in the Super Mario movie, but he ain't been cast for Mario Kart. I will go first this time. My first option for a Toad voice is Christopher Mintz-Plasse, otherwise known as McLovin from Superbad.
Oh, yes. He
hasn't done much lately.
McLovin.
Well, since Kick-Ass 2, really.
The third big return.
So I thought he could just he'd play Toad in a kind of a nerdy yet kind of like just dickish way. So I reckon Toad could be that way, and I think he could play it well, but that's why I picked him. It's just because he'd be against type.
All right.
Do you have a option for Toad?
I do. Well, this is where it's a little bit disappointing because my first option we can't use.
Oh, why's that?
Because it was Ralph Macchio.
Oh!
I really wanted him as Toad. I could just see him. He's cute enough to be Toad, but also like if Toad was going to be a little zoomy smartass, I feel like it would still work as well. But
Oh, sorry.
no, that's okay. I mean, like he could try and play two roles, but I don't. That feels like a lot of demand for one person. And how much would you have to pay him?
If the two characters in the same race.
Yes, it'd be far too difficult.
What happens if Luigi and Toad are fighting for the position?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
They'd have to do double duty.
Don't know. It would have to be some sort of green screen situation. Or,
Yeah.
But he was my first. And I'll leave it at that because I can't think of extra people. So
We'll sweep the leg in this situation and get rid of him.
automatic disqualification.
My second option for Toad is Megan Mullally from Will and Grace. She played the high-pitched voice person.
Yes.
I just imagine her as Toad.
Yes. Oh my god.
I've given away that I'm doing animated with Frank Welker. But yeah, her voice as Toad would be funny.
That would be quite cool. You know, I've never really thought of Toad as female before. And I don't know why I haven't.
Toad, I thought, he had a voice that a female or a male could play. Kind of like your Bart Simpson kind of vibe.
Yeah.
She's actually married to Nick Swanson.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
Oh my god. Wouldn't have picked that.
There you go. It's a small world. So that's my second option is Megan Mullally.
Da, da, da. All right, my second option, I'm really sorry, I've gone British again, Greg, so grab out your phone to Google. My second pick was actually Matt Berry. Matt Berry, who was also in IT Crowd. He played the crazy boss.
The first one or the second one?
Not the one that died, the son. The son who takes over. Yeah, I had him for Toad. Again, a Toad feels like, yes, that's him. Yeah. Toad feels like he could be a real comedic character, and especially the fact that he could, I don't know, just zoom around on his little toad mushrooms that make you go super fast, and I thought he would be really fun.
He's kind of like, Toad's kind of like Yoshi, where it's a free license to kind of just go creative. So I can see that as well. And yeah, he was, from the OT creative, he was great and obnoxious and kind of stupid at the same time.
OTT.
Yeah.
And I feel like Toad could be, because he wouldn't necessarily have a massive role in the movie. And so if you have him OTT to really have an impact when he is on screen, it would be quite cool.
Yeah, no, I can see that. He's got a presence, that guy, for sure, Matt Berry. My third option for Toad, I've gone for female again. She's always great in the things I've seen her in. I've seen her in The West Wing, and she was also in RV with Robin Williams. Her name is Kristen Chenoweth.
Oh, Galinda the Good Witch. Oh, yes.
She's just got such a unique voice.
Yes.
So that should be great for Toad.
Oh, I love her. Pushing Daisies, and she's just great. So I think that's a great option.
Yeah, I thought she should be a great Toad.
Yeah.
So those are my three options. Have you got a third option?
I do have a third option. I don't really feel like this actor is Toad, but I had them cast because in my pitch when we get to it, I was going to swap the character out for a little bit of a comedic relief thing. My third Toad is Daniel Radcliffe.
Ooh, I could actually see that.
Yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to seeing that Weird Al movie
Uh-huh.
with him. And that early reviews are through, and it's apparently one of the funniest movies of the year.
Ooh, yay.
But Daniel Radcliffe, he has done so much since Harry Potter.
Absolutely.
I think we spoke about this in Harry Potter as well, just how diverse his character has been. He's pretty much done the Johnny Depp thing and gone from, even Leonardo DiCaprio as well, gone against type for everything else since pretty much he's done Harry Potter. He's really good. And I could see him as actually a really good Toad.
Absolutely. He'd even be good in an animated series, yeah.
I'm surprised he hasn't actually been cast in anything yet.
Maybe he's just trying to avoid doing the voiceover stuff for now.
So do you have anyone you want to push?
Of my three, I think Daniel Radcliffe.
He's the one I thought of too. Out of my ones, I'd probably go Kristen Chenoweth.
Yeah,
She would be a scene stealer.
she would be.
So the question is, do you want to go scene stealer or do you want to go someone that could just be in the background but it could also be funny and serious whenever he wants?
I feel like I would say Daniel Radcliffe, but only because I feel like Kristen Chenoweth would absolutely body it as an animated series, but in a live action, because there's Toadette and there's Toad, and they're sort of cast as very traditional, or they feel like very man-woman. And so depending on whether or not you're wanting to gender bend one of the characters when none of the others are, that's why I would lean Daniel Radcliffe.
Well, it makes sense because she really couldn't do live action. Because she's very little, very petite, and she's like 60 years old.
Is she?
I think so, yeah.
Oh, she's still on Broadway though.
She looks a lot younger. Daniel Radcliffe I like too because he's Daniel Radcliffe.
Yeah, I mean, in anything.
I actually would cast Daniel Radcliffe.
All right, Daniel it is.
Daniel Radcliffe has been cast as our Toad. So let's go back through our casting showing because that is our casting done.
Woohoo!
So for our casting for like I say Super Mario, but a Mario Kart movie or TV show. For Mario, we have cast Milo.
Ventimiglia.
Milo Ventimiglia. There we are. Said it first time. And Ralph Macchio is Luigi. What a combo. Princess Peach, we've cast Charlize Theron. For Wario, we've cast Jim Carrey. For Waluigi, we've cast Sacha Baron Cohen. A good combo again. For Bowser, we've cast Sean Bean or Sean Bean. For Yoshi, we have Idris Elba. And for Toad, we have Daniel Radcliffe. That's just what a
cast.
What a combination.
Wow.
So now we've cast our movie or TV show. Let's talk about first what you've gone for. Have you gone for live action or animated? And have you gone for TV show or movie?
So, I have two pitches for you today, Greg.
Okay.
One of them is a movie, both live action. One of them is a very, you could probably tell by my casting, Italian-American. I was sort of going for the mafia family rivalry vibe a little bit with a blockbuster action movie, lots of racing around, but specifically in muscle cars, not like Jap import cars. We're not going fast and furious here.
1960s kind of style cars.
Yeah, like Mustangs with the big, the engine bits that sit out the top. I don't know cars. I'm not sure what that would be.
American graffiti kind of style.
Yeah,
of racing.
absolutely. Bit of grease lightning kind of velodrome, but like on the streets of upstate New York or something like that, because, has to be New York. But yes, I was thinking, we've got warring factions, and perhaps there's some kind of, we've got obviously Bowser as the head of the opposing family, and there's a kidnap that takes place. Obviously someone has to be kidnapped, Peach, sorry. But she ultimately rescues herself with the help of Yoshi and Toad, who is a plant. Yoshi becomes a turncoat, which is why I've cast him as Vince Vaughn originally. But yeah, the whole idea was a real action-packed bit of racing, bit of, prison breaking, I don't know, Italian-American blockbuster.
Nice. Well, I've gone for a TV show and it's animated.
Nice.
That's what I'll go with. So do you want to go with your first pitch, or do you want to go first or second?
Yeah, I can go first. This is the movie. So we've got a live action, twisted, modern adaptation of the Mario world, including a bit of Mario Kart. There would be features that might be reminiscent of the characters, but they don't look like characters. These are mobsters, effectively. So the plot follows a storyline kind of similar to Taken in terms of it's the girlfriend that is Taken, not his daughter. Mario and Luigi are the young leaders of the Segali mafia family. And of course this is a reference to the real man that Mario was named for.
Oh, okay.
Back in the day, his name was Mario Segali.
There you go.
So his fiance's been taken by a rival mafia family, and the head of the family, Bowser, who I'd originally cast as Danny DeVito, is small in stature but huge in presence. So there's a bit of a historical issue with the Segali brothers after a wrongdoing that their family did. So they've taken over the family, and he's also after a bride for his son, Wario, who's set to inherit the family business, but has no proclivity for a family because he's a bit evil. Two birds in one stone sort of situation. The other son, Waluigi's been in jail for murdering tendencies.
This is so not Nintendo.
I know, but it's like twisting it.
Wow. Really is, yeah.
But at the very beginning of the movie starts with him being broken out of jail by Yoshi. And then Bowser, after this, sends Yoshi in to steal Peach and bring her back to the family mansion upstate. They don't know that the Segali family actually have a plant at this estate in the form of Toad, who's a bit of a grunt for Bowser's family, but he's feeding information about what's going on back to Luigi and Mario. So Toad and Peach are working in cahoots this whole time to try and undermine the family. There's a whole pile of road races going on. They're trying to win her back. You know, it's not happening. They try to like cut them off at every turn. They hear rumors of Waluigi being broken out of prison, and Yoshi confirms this at one point when he's beginning to show some doubts about the leadership of Bowser and the direction that the family is going in, you know?
This is the Godfather. I love it.
It is. Sensing a coup, we have Peach and Toad encouraging Yoshi to make plans to take out Bowser, so they create their own little revolution from within the ranks. And then at the climax of the movie, we see Mario and Luigi racing their way onto the estate, and they gain entrance to the mob house, and there they're interrupted by the arrival of Waluigi and Yoshi. And Toad and Peach also get involved, and they all overthrow Bowser. Bye-bye, Bowser. Mario and Luigi ultimately have their thunder taken because, you know, Peach has effectively coordinated this whole thing. Yay, feminism. But they're just happy to get the family back together ultimately. And Yoshi and Toad decide to stay behind to help Waluigi, who it turns out didn't do all of the murdering. It was actually Wario. He's the true bad guy in all of this. And Wario gets thrown in the slammer. And then they've got peace between the families, and they just ride their little cars around for fun.
Okay, so that's where the cart part comes into it.
It comes back in. Oh, no, there's like 2 road races in there as well, Greg.
Okay, sorry. This is something like, this is why I like to have 2 people in a video game movie pitch, because when else can you pitch a Godfather-esque Wario vengeance movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, Nintendo would probably never do,
Oh, no.
but my God, it would be fun to watch.
It would be. They wouldn't be able to be called these things. It's just sort of...
It's like, there's a thing, I think, Robot Chicken, where Mario and Luigi are carting off, and there's 2 directions they can go to. They can go, I think, to the Nintendo Land, or they can go to Raccoon City, and they're from Resident Evil, and they end up going to Raccoon City.
Amazing.
As soon as you started talking your thing, I was like, it reminds me of that. Just
Yeah. Unhinged.
unhinged Godfather Mario that I'd love to see.
It'd make a good blockbuster thing.
Not what I expected from a Mario Kart pitch, but in a really good way.
Okay.
I really enjoyed that. It was fun.
Not too crazy.
No. And you got a second pitch?
I do have a second pitch.
Is it a TV show?
It is a TV show, but specifically we're doing like a British BBC 3 episodes, but they're like movie length episodes anyway, kind of like, you know, Sherlock. The idea is sort of like quite irreverent, almost Monty Python like humor. Originally I was sort of thinking that you'd have the recurring theme of the carts, but actually each episode would follow like a different era of Mario games in general. So we'd have one where the characters, everything's filmed real life, but the characters are sort of extraposed onto a 2D background for the first episode, and it's like a side-scrolling film almost. And then in the second one, you're sort of in Super Mario like 3D world sort of land where they're jumping around and they're trying to get an obstacle course and they're jumping in their cars and they're driving around. And then in the third one, they would be in a like mix match of turn-based Mario Party with mini games sort of thing, and also a little bit of Super Smash Bros. So they've got to like punch each other up a little bit. So it was meant to tie in all of the games, not just Mario Kart together, but each episode would have a distinctly different feel. The characters would be dressed in very obvious just costumes costumes. Like, they are the characters. It's very tongue-in-cheek. You know, at one point I was thinking, in the third episode where they're playing, you know, the Mario party game, Toad would get flown away by the wizard guy, Wizard Cooper, whatever his name is, take him away on the cloud, and then he gets replaced with Daniel Radcliffe, and everyone's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm Toad, who are you? You know,
Just a recast.
yeah, just like randomly in the middle of it, and they're all very metacognitive of the fact that this is like, they're playing some sort of weird game and trying to get, I don't know, something a little bit more tongue-in-cheek and obvious.
I can see why you cast a lot of British people for that too.
Yes. Yeah.
That's a good way of, like say, tying all the games together, because that's something would be very, very hard to do. The different eras of Mario and Nintendo in general. That'd be a cool way to do it and have like a history on screen, but also in a tongue-in-cheek way that everyone can just have fun with and not take too seriously. So no, two very wildly different.
What are you talking about?
Let's say both have intriguing factors to them. Like the first one, just a full-blown mafia crime movie. I love crime movies like Goodfellas, and Godfathers are okay. I'm probably gonna get shot for that, but I don't mind Godfathers, but I much prefer like the Goodfellas Heat kind of action mid-90s kind of crime.
I have to admit, my favourite is Bugsy Malone.
Oh, with the old Warren Beatty.
Uh-huh.
Two very interesting pictures. I like that. Thank you for bringing two as well, because it's wow.
Putting in the work.
Right, so I shall turn on my tablet for the first time in a while.
I'm excited for this.
And see what my pitch is. My pitch is more probably what you expect from a Nintendo TV show for it. It would be hard to get all the big names we've got, but I was like, we'll try for it anyway.
Yeah.
So my pitch is a TV show, animated. I've put 10 episodes.
Okay.
Episode length would be about 20 minutes approx.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I would make a Mario Kart TV show in the style of a Formula One kind of event, with a presentation like you're watching it on TV. There'd be two mushroom people commentators. I would try to get real announcers from the likes of ESPN to actually have them. It would have like overview of the course. It would have like pit crews and everything talking to them, or something similar. Each episode would revolve around a different race, with a couple of episodes introducing and concluding the series. I would only have the 8 races we have already casted in the series. Would look to expand the roster in perhaps a second season.
Ooh.
Episode 1. Let's meet the races. So I'd be like, very much in the style of the sports broadcast. The first episode will have you meet each of the races in a sports style video package, with interviews with each racer. The announcers will also talk to one another about the circumstances of how the likes of Mario, Wario, and Bowser, who are all enemies, would agree to be involved in the Mario Kart race series.
Oh, so we've got a bit of backstory with the racing.
And have them, but I'd have like two mushrooms kind of talking over it and like kind of like news stories and stuff, and kind of throw in interviews to kind of describe it, and maybe have like an overview narration of someone describing the circumstances.
Amazing.
It'd be very broadcast like. Episode 2 is Mario Circuit. This episode will be the first race in the series, Mario Circuit. The announcers will talk about the circuit, pointing out how to race in their expert opinions. There will be interviews with some of the race's pit crews. While the race takes place, replays of racers getting hit by shells and banana peels will occur during the race. So whenever there's like a replay kind of moment, there'll be replays.
Awesome.
There will even be a Nintendo moment of the day where the best way a person gets wiped out will take place. I don't know who wins the race yet. All I know is that I want Bowser to be behind so badly in the rankings that he needs to cheat on the Bowser Castle round to win.
Nice.
And equal Mario and Princess Peach in the rankings.
Nice.
Episode 3 is Moo Moo Meadows.
I love Moo Moo Meadows. It's one of my favourites.
This race ventures to the farmlands of Moo Moo Meadows. The announcers will talk about the racers having to modify their karts for the dirt tracks of Moo Moo Meadows. This will be a muddy and wild affair and will look really good and animated. Just animated, like mud will hit the screens and stuff as well, because the cameras will be like camera pit crews from an actual race.
And like little like GoPros on the front of each of the carts, maybe?
Yeah, and you have them like racing behind and having to turn around and or have like the commentary like it would be a actual event. Episode 4 would be Cheap Cheap Beach.
Ah, yes.
Again, the announcers will discuss how the karts will need to be changed for the beach and water conditions. The announcers once again give you a rundown of the circuit. The animation of the karts going through the water and sand could look amazing.
Nice. And with the fish jumping over them dramatically.
Yeah, just have so much opportunities for different, because each race is going to be completely different, so each episode is something worth watching.
Nice.
Episode 5, Toad's Turnpike.
Ah!
A race against oncoming traffic. Need I say more?
Yep.
Just imagine an episode where they're racing oncoming traffic with a style of Formula One commentary to it.
God, amazing. Will they still have the surfboard jumps over the tops of the cars?
They'll have the jumps over the cars,
Oh,
and
yes.
and if someone does it beautifully, there'll be replays and stuff of it as well.
Oh.
They'll even have like Again, they could have interviews with pit crews. So how are you going to do it? Are you going to go the jumps? You're going to go through the traffic? What is the preparation you've gone for this race? And then have like a mushroom or whoever is with Mario. Maybe you could even have like a DK or something just as a pit crew guy.
Yeah. Or DK out there eating the bananas and chucking them over his shoulder.
Yeah, have them in there. Just have like extra characters. Have some Koopas or something in there for
Yeah.
Bowser. And because we haven't cast anyone, you can just cast whoever you want.
And then Yoshi's pit crew is exclusively other Yoshis of different colours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You could just do that and you could cast whoever you want.
Amazing.
And just like maybe like 1 or 2 lines for the whole series. Just have maybe like a celebrity guest come in for each episode to be a different pit crew.
Hey.
Episode 6 is Cloud Top Cruise. So this is a round that starts to separate the Marios from the baby Marios. As gliding comes into the series for the first time, I'm just loving watching the animation style of carts in the sky.
Yeah.
Different designs of the carts and the hang gliders and stuff as well, the gliders on the carts.
But what gliders would they pick? That is the question.
That's the thing. They could even go to the pit crew and go, what have you gone with? And they could even have a little presentation of different designs.
Who's going to have the squirrel? That is the real question.
Episode 7 goes to Bone Dry Dunes.
Oh.
The Mario Kart series hits the desert sands and dinosaur bones of Bone Dry Dunes. Every race starts to really count now as the series only has 2 more races left in it. Episode 8, Bowser's Castle.
Oh.
In this race, Bowser will have shortcuts open up for him and close when he goes through so no one else can use them. The announcers will mention this, but it isn't against the rules because, well, there are no rules.
It's his castle.
Exactly, so he'll have shortcuts in there for him. Bowser's win means that he, Mario, and Princess Peach are in a 3-way tie for the top spot. The announcers will go on and say that it's pretty much a 2-horse race, discarding Peach as a serious contender. As Peach has never won a race all year, so I'm going to have her like 2nd or 3rd in every single race.
Yeah.
So she's consistently in the top 3 but doesn't win a race. Well, have Mario and Bowser maybe win a couple each.
Yeah.
To make you feel like it's between them two and just kind of discard Peach completely. Episode 9, Somewhere Over the Rainbow Road.
But which version?
Well, I can choose.
Oh.
Because there's so many different versions. I can decide that you can go to the classic, you can go to the original. But yeah, you can always choose different Rainbow Roads for every season.
Amazing.
All roads could lead to Rainbow Road
Hey.
at the start of every season. And then it could be a different Rainbow Road each time. So this is the final race of the season, Rainbow Road. Who will win the championship? Bowser and Mario will be locked in an intense race to see who will win the championship. In the last lap, though, when Mario and Bowser are trying to escape each other, Peach will knock out both Bowser and Mario and go on to win the race and the championship.
Yes!
The announcers will have an interview and celebration with Peach and her racing crew. So it'll be like, you know, the champagne and everything.
Yeah.
It's going to be like a full-on celebration with her whole pit crew. I'm not sure who her pit crew will be, but it'll be just people that are celebrating. You could have like a celebrity. You could have another future kart person be her pit crew boss, and that's maybe how she becomes a kart racer.
Oh.
Who knows?
Who knows?
So Wario and Waluigi, although they're in the series, they're not going to be ones that win. They're just going to be ones that kind of try and cheat, and they're going to get screwed over each race. So they'll be like, Philly. They'll always have plans and try and take other people out, but always backfire. Almost like Wile Coyote from Roadrunner.
Dick Dastardly? Is that
From
his name?
Wacky Races?
Yes, Dick Dastardly. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very kind of Wacky Races kind of vibe.
Yeah.
So that's how that race will end, but there's still one more episode. Episode 10, the Mario Kart Awards. So the announcers will host an episode where they go through the season giving out awards. They will be joined in the studio by the champion, Princess Peach. Some of the awards include Biggest Comeback in a Race, Worst Luck of the Season, which will probably go like Waluigi or Wario,
Yeah.
Best Wipeout of the Season, Most Improved Racer, and Fans Racer of the Year.
Oh.
So you go. So we'll have like a vote. Even you could possibly even get people to vote as fans actually for their favourite one of the year.
That would be so cool.
And kind of like have it that way as well. So you could almost like have it where you have a different, you can almost film or animate every single person winning, and then whoever votes wins. Chuck it in.
Oh, so good.
So thank you for watching this season of the Mario Kart Race Series. We'll be back next season, bigger and better than ever. That's how it ends. So it's pretty much, that is my pitch. It's a Formula One style kind of show. And because it's only about 20 minutes or so long, it's not going to be something that you have to sit down for long periods and watch. It could be kind of a fun wee thing to watch each week.
That is so cool. Oh my god, how do we convince them to actually make that? Because that would just be so fun.
And it'd be also be Nintendo friendly, so
Yeah.
they actually could still do it. And actually, yeah, it'd be bite sized, so the money wouldn't be huge. You wouldn't have to commit to a movie and hope it works.
Yeah.
It could just be like a little, if you make the movies like Super Mario movies, you can have those kind of bite sized things to actually have during when you haven't got the movies.
Yeah. and it'd be kid friendly. Like I could let the kids watch it, and you could see it as like Nintendo almost selling it like through what is it, like the online membership, like it through Nintendo, like a Nintendo Direct kind of thing. Like you have to be subscribed to get access to it or something. Like you could really see the marketing hard.
Rather than it be a TV show on there, you could just have it on Nintendo Online.
Yeah.
You can have like also DLC and stuff, so you could almost have like, so you can have
Mario Kart TV.
have the commentary from the actual guys.
Or you could like download the ghost data to put yourself in exactly that race from the TV show. That would be so cool.
So that is my pitch. It's the only way I could myself could see Mario Kart kind of coming to life as a.
Yeah, realistically speaking.
Your ones are so. I would love to see a crime family Mario Kart.
Yeah.
Be so good.
It would almost have to be more an adaptation of Luigi's Mansion or something a little bit more
Yeah.
darker.
Something that's not as violent as well.
Yeah.
But your second one, I think, with the whole going through different time periods in history of Mario Kart has something to it as well.
It would be quite cool. It's not so much Mario Kart as just Mario.
If we were to combine our ones, we could have it where my first season could be like the Super Nintendo graphics.
Yes.
And then 64 graphics. And then,
Yes.
so like every season's an upgrade in graphics.
That would be so cool.
And it'd be cool to animate that style too, like
Yeah.
16-bit would be cool as well. If you like what you hear or have any suggestions or thoughts for us, who knows, it might be about Mario Kart. Well, you can contact us by going to the Nobody Does It Bennett Facebook page or by hitting us up on the Twitter at NobodyDIBennett. You can also email us at nobodydoesitbennett@outlook.com or by going to our website nobodydoesitbennett.buzzsprout.com. Just remember that's a Bennett with 2 N's and 2 T's. Nobody Does It Bennett is available on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, and other podcast outlets. Nobody Does It Bennett is also available on YouTube, so don't forget to like and subscribe. Jemma, do you have anything else to add for Mario Kart or any other thoughts about our pitches?
Well, I think our pitches are amazing, and all 3 should be inevitably made at some point in the future with any combination of these particular characters. But I feel like just Mario Kart, just in general terms, I think has to be acknowledged as one of the greats. It is one of those just, I don't know, you can pull it out at a party, you can play it on your own. It's just such an awesome video game, and it's one of those ones that I've got this metric, right? If you can't play a video game until it's cost you less than $1 an hour, it hasn't been worth it. And this has been one of those games that has cost me cents. You know, it's cost me basically nothing for the amount of hours of enjoyment, and every time you play it, it's just as fun as the last time. I feel like as a movie, it'd be so cool to see it brought to life and have that joy in a video format as well as the actual video game. So someone please do it. Nintendo, please. I beg you.
Mario Kart is one of those games too that it never really has not succeeded in any of its games. There have been some that are more successful than others. Like I know that the live action circuit thing didn't go as well as what they were hoping, but it wasn't a complete failure. It just wasn't as successful as a game that's been out for 8 years now and is the top 10 game still being bought. So yeah, Mario Kart's one of those games that just is always there. And always there in a good way where it doesn't have a bad time. Like you can have frustrated and angry times, but also it's part of the fun
Exactly.
with Mario Kart.
Mario Kart, like, it transcends the ages in terms of, like, the decade that you're playing it in. It transcends ages in terms of your age. And it just, I feel like you can come together and anyone from any part of the world will know Mario Kart and how to play it because it's just...
It's universally loved.
Exactly.
Like no matter which language, no matter which background, everyone loves Mario Kart. But here, Mario Kart is a game that really defines the easy to pick up but hard to master scene. A fun experience no matter your skill level, yet a game that, at the same time, can be really frustrating. Thank you, Jemma, for joining me tonight.
And thank you for having me.
And thank you for listening. Remember, some others may do it better, but nobody does it Bennett. Take care. Vroom vroom.
It's the end of the show, and now it's time to go. Don't be sad, just be glad that nobody does it better.